The email arrived at 4:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, right as I was updating the final numbers on the Blackwell Manufacturing deal. Carson, report to my office immediately. I stared at the screen, my coffee going cold in my hand. Derek Vaughn, the new VP of Sales, had only been at Pinnacle Solutions for 3 weeks. He'd spent most of that time strutting around the office like he owned the place, which technically his father did now. Old man Vaughn had bought the company 2 months ago, and his son had wasted no time making changes. He'd already fired 2 veteran salespeople for underperforming, though everyone knew they'd just refused to kiss his ring. I saved my spreadsheet and walked toward his corner office. Through the glass walls, I could see him leaning back in his leather chair, phone pressed to his ear, laughing at something. He didn't look up as I approached. The Blackwell deal was mine. I'd spent 11 months building that relationship, flying to their headquarters in Detroit 4 times, working through technical specifications with their engineering team. The contract was worth $8.2 million to Pinnacle. My commission? $1.4 million. Derek finally waved me in. Close the door, he said, still not making eye contact. I shut it quietly and stood in front of his desk. He kept me waiting another 30 seconds while he finished his call, laughing loudly at whatever joke was being told on the other end. Yeah, lunch next week. Absolutely. He hung up and finally looked at me. Sit down, Carson. I remained standing. Something in his tone set off alarms in my head. I said sit. His smile disappeared. I sat. Derek pulled a folder from his desk drawer and slid it across to me. I'm letting you go. Effective immediately. Security will escort you out in 10 minutes. Pack your personal items only. The words hung in the air like smoke. I opened the folder. Termination papers, already signed by HR. You're firing me? My voice stayed level despite my racing heart. Your performance hasn't met our new standards. We're moving in a different direction. He said it like he was reading from a script. The Blackwell deal closes Friday. I've worked on it for almost a year. Derek's smile returned, cold and sharp. Which is why I'm reassigning it to Mitchell. He'll handle the final closing. Mitchell. Derek's former college roommate who'd been hired 2 weeks ago with 0 experience in our industry. You can't do that, I said quietly. That's my client. My contract. Derek leaned forward, his expensive cologne filling the space between us. Actually, I can do whatever I want. You work for me. Well, worked. Past tense. He seemed to enjoy that last part. I thought about the clause in my contract. The one I'd negotiated 3 years ago after the Caldwell medical incident, when another salesperson had been fired right before a major deal closed and lost his commission. I'd learned from that disaster. I need to speak with HR, I said. HR already signed off on this. See? He tapped the termination papers. Now, I have a 4 o'clock tea time, so if you don't mind. I do mind, actually. I stood up, leaving the unsigned papers on his desk. I'll need to review my employment contract before I sign anything. Derek's face reddened. You'll sign now, or security will remove you without your belongings. Then I guess they'll remove me. I turned toward the door. You're making this harder than it needs to be, Carson. Sign the papers. Take your severance. Move on. I paused at the door. What severance? 2 weeks. He said it like he was being generous. I'd been with Pinnacle for 6 years. 2 weeks. I'll be in touch, I said. His laugh followed me out. Good luck finding another job with this on your record. I walked back to my desk in a daze. My coworkers quickly looked away, suddenly fascinated by their computer screens. News traveled fast in our open office layout. Tricia from accounting caught my eye and mouthed, "I'm sorry." I nodded once and started packing. My phone vibrated. A text from my brother, heard the news. You okay? How did he know already? Then I remembered, his girlfriend worked in HR at Pinnacle. The office gossip network moved faster than email. I packed my photos, my coffee mug from the Phoenix conference, my notebooks. Security arrived before I finished, two large men in cheap suits looking uncomfortable. "We need to escort you out, sir," the older one said. He'd escorted me in on my first day 6 years ago. Now he was walking me out. "Give me 2 minutes." "We really need to." 2 minutes, I repeated firmly. He nodded. I pulled out my phone and photographed my desk calendar, the Blackwell file number, and my client contact list. Then I opened my work email one last time and forwarded 3 specific messages to my personal account. Messages I'd saved months ago, just in case. Finally, I was ready. The walk through the office felt like a funeral march. 50 people watching, nobody speaking. Derek stood at his office door, arms crossed, that satisfied smirk plastered on his face. I stopped in front of him. "You should read my contract. Specifically, Section 12. His smirk faltered slightly. "What?" "Section 12. The commission clause. You might want to check it out before Friday." Now he looked uncertain. "What are you talking about?" "You'll see." I kept walking. In the elevator, the older security guard cleared his throat. "For what it's worth, sir, that was wrong what they did. Everyone knows that Blackwell deal was yours." "Thanks, Frank. My nephew's looking for sales work." "You think Pinnacle's a good place?" I looked at him. "Not anymore." Outside, the autumn air hit my face like cold water. I stood on the sidewalk, watching people hurry past, everyone heading somewhere with purpose. My phone rang. Unknown number. "Carson Brooks?" A woman's voice, professional. Speaking. "This is Amanda Wesley from Blackwell Manufacturing. I just received a very strange call from someone named Mitchell at your company. He said he's taking over our account." My heart started pounding. "That's news to me, Amanda." "When did he call?" 10 minutes ago. He could barely explain our technical requirements. "Carson, what's going on?" I found a coffee shop 2 blocks away and called my lawyer. Victor Hughes had handled my contract negotiations with Pinnacle 3 years ago. He was expensive, thorough, and exactly who I needed right now. "Carson, good to hear from you." "What's up?" "They fired me today. Right before my biggest commission." Silence. Then, "The Blackwell deal? Closes Friday. $1.4 million commission. They're trying to give it to someone else. Did you sign anything?" "No." I left the termination papers on his desk. "Good. Very good. Email me everything, the termination notice, any communication about the Blackwell deal, everything. I'm going to review your contract. There's a clause, Victor. Section 12. The one you insisted on." I heard papers rustling. "The commission protection clause." "Right. If they terminate you within 30 days of a deal closing, you're still entitled to the full commission if you were the primary relationship manager." I was. I am. That client just called me confused about who Mitchell is. Victor's tone changed, became sharper. "Oh, this is good. This is very good. Don't contact Pinnacle. Don't sign anything. Let me handle this." "What are you thinking?" "I'm thinking Derek Vaughn just made a very expensive mistake." I went home to my small apartment and opened my laptop. The forwarded emails loaded in my personal account. 3 messages, all from the past 2 months, all from Old Man Vaughn's executive assistant. The first one, dated 8 weeks ago, "Mr. Vaughn wants a report on all pending commissions over $500,000. Please provide deal status, expected close date, and assigned salesperson." The second, from 6 weeks ago, per Mr. Vaughn, "We're reviewing all commission structures. Do not discuss this with sales staff." The third, from 3 weeks ago, "New policy, All deals over $1 million require VP approval before final closing. Assigned salesperson may be changed at VP discretion for optimal client relationship. I'd forwarded these to myself because they felt wrong. Because I'd learned, after 6 years in corporate sales, that when new management starts asking about big commissions, someone's about to get screwed. My phone buzzed. Victor, just read your contract. Section 12 is airtight. They owe you that commission even if they fire you, as long as you were primary relationship manager and the deal closes within 30 days of termination. Me, the deal closes in 3 days. Victor, perfect. Sending them a letter tonight. Don't be surprised if they call you tomorrow. I sat back, staring at the ceiling. $1.4 million. Life-changing money. Money I'd earned. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying Derek's smug face, his casual dismissal of a year's work. Around midnight, my phone lit up with a text from Trisha in accounting. Check the company message board. Derek sent an email. I opened my laptop and logged into the company portal using cached credentials they hadn't disabled yet. There it was, sent to the entire sales team at 11:43 p.m. Team, as of today, we're implementing a new policy. All pending deals will be reassigned based on merit and strategic value. This ensures optimal client relationships and company success. Questions can be directed to my office. Strategic value. Translation: whoever Derek wanted to reward. The message board exploded with comments. Senior salespeople furious. Junior staff confused. Nobody buying Derek's explanation. One comment from Wesley, a 20-year veteran: this is theft. Plain and simple. Derek's response, posted minutes later: anyone uncomfortable with new management direction is welcome to resign. I took screenshots of everything. Then I noticed something interesting in the metadata. Derek had drafted this email at 4:52 p.m., 5 minutes after firing me. He'd planned this announcement before our meeting had even ended. This wasn't a sudden decision. This was calculated. My phone rang. Victor, calling after midnight. You awake? Yeah. Check your email. I just sent their legal team a formal demand letter. Victor's letter was beautiful. 3 pages of legal precision, citing Section 12 of my contract, demanding immediate reinstatement or, alternatively, full commission payment upon deal closing, plus damages for wrongful termination. The key paragraph: Mr. Brooks maintains the sole relationship with Blackwell Manufacturing. Any attempt to substitute personnel at this critical juncture constitutes interference with contractual commission rights and will result in immediate litigation. What happens now? I asked. They have 24 hours to respond. My guess? They'll panic. That clause is ironclad. I wrote it specifically to prevent this exact situation. You think they'll settle? I think they'll realize fighting this costs more than paying you. But Carson, there's something else. I waited. That email about reassigning deals? If they try that with anyone else, they're opening themselves up to multiple lawsuits. I'm betting other salespeople call me tomorrow. He was right. By Wednesday morning, 3 other senior salespeople had contacted Victor. All had deals closing soon. All felt threatened by Derek's new policy. Meanwhile, my phone kept buzzing with messages from former coworkers. Most supportive. A few warning me that Derek was telling people I'd stolen client files. The classic corporate smear campaign. At 10:17 a.m., Amanda from Blackwell called again. Carson, this Mitchell person emailed me a new contract with different terms. What's happening? My blood went cold. Different how? Price increase. 20%. He says it's necessary for premium service level. I stepped outside my apartment building to take the call properly. Amanda, listen carefully. Do not sign anything Mitchell sends you. Those aren't authorized changes. I figured something was wrong. We negotiated everything with you. This feels like a bait and switch. It is. I was fired yesterday, but my lawyer is handling it. Can you hold off on any decisions until Friday? Carson, I trust you. But my VP is getting nervous. If Pinnacle can't honor our original terms, we'll look elsewhere. Panic rose in my chest. If Blackwell walked away, there'd be no deal to collect commission on. Derek would win by default. Give me until end of business Thursday. Please. She paused. Because it's you, Carson. Thursday at 5. After that, we're moving on. After we hung up, I immediately called Victor. They're trying to sabotage the deal itself, I said, explaining Mitchell's email. That's interference. Possibly tortious interference with contract. Forward me everything. What if Blackwell walks away? Then we sue for the full commission amount plus lost opportunity damages. But Carson, it won't come to that. How do you know? Because I'm about to make their day very unpleasant. 20 minutes later, Victor sent a second letter to Pinnacle's legal team, copying Derek, Old Man Vaughn, and the entire board of directors. This one was 5 pages and included words like tortious interference, breach of fiduciary duty, and punitive damages. At 2:34 p.m., my phone rang. Pinnacle's main line. Carson Brooks. Mr. Brooks, this is Nancy Kimball from Pinnacle's legal department. We need to discuss your situation. I have representation. Please contact Victor Hughes. I've spoken with Mr. Hughes. We'd like to resolve this quickly and amicably. Amicably? You fired me and tried to steal my commission. Her voice stayed professionally calm. There appears to have been a miscommunication regarding your contract terms. We're prepared to offer reinstatement. And my commission? That would be honored per your original contract, assuming the deal closes. It's closing Friday. With the original terms Amanda and I negotiated. Not whatever changes Mitchell proposed. Silence. Then, I'll need to discuss that with Mr. Vaughn. You do that. And Nancy? Tell Derek to read Section 12. Really read it. I hung up feeling shakier than I sounded. Victor called immediately after. They contacted you directly? That's improper. They know you have representation. They're panicking. Good. Let them panic. Don't agree to anything without me present. Understood? Understood. That evening, Tricia texted again. Derek got called into his father's office. Lots of yelling. Thought you'd enjoy that. I did enjoy it. More than I should have. Thursday morning arrived with fog so thick I could barely see across the street. My phone had 17 missed calls by the time I woke up. 15 were from Pinnacle's main line. 2 were from Victor. I called Victor first. Where have you been? They've been trying to reach me since 6 a.m. Sleeping. What do they want? Everything. Complete reinstatement, full commission, public apology, written guarantee of no retaliation. They're desperate. Because of the lawsuit threat? Because Old Man Vaughn finally read your contract. And because Blackwell's VP called him directly yesterday asking why his company was pulling a bait-and switch. I sat up straight. Amanda escalated? She did. Told him if Pinnacle couldn't honor the original terms, Blackwell would cancel and tell everyone in their industry why. That's an $8.2 million deal plus reputation damage. The old man hit the roof. What about Derek? Victor's smile was audible. What about him? Is he still VP? As of this morning, he's transitioning to an advisory role. Corporate speak for we're pushing him out without admitting we made a mistake hiring him. The news settled over me like warm sunlight breaking through fog. So what happens now? We have a meeting at Pinnacle. 10 o'clock. You, me, their legal team, and Old Man Vaughn himself. Come prepared to negotiate. I wore my best suit. The charcoal one I bought for the Detroit trip when I first pitched Blackwell. It felt like armor. Victor met me in Pinnacle's lobby at 9:45. Remember, let me do most of the talking. They're going to try appealing to your loyalty, your history with the company. Don't fall for it. I won't. And Carson? We're not just getting your job back. We're getting everything you're owed, plus compensation for this nightmare. The conference room was on the executive floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, leather chairs around a marble table. Old man Vaughn sat at the head, looking older than his 68 years. Nancy Kimball, the lawyer, sat to his right. Derek's empty chair sat conspicuously to his left. Mr. Brooks. Vaughn stood and offered his hand. Thank you for coming. I shook it briefly. His grip was firm but tired. Let's get to it, Victor said, placing his briefcase on the table. My client was wrongfully terminated in an apparent attempt to deny him a lawful commission. We're here to discuss remedies. Nancy opened a folder. We acknowledge the termination was premature. We're offering full reinstatement, back pay for days missed, and guaranteed commission per his contract. Not enough, Victor said immediately. Vaughn leaned forward. What else do you want? Victor slid a document across the table. Here's what we want. Full reinstatement to Mr. Brooks' previous position. Guaranteed commission on the Blackwell deal, paid within 3 business days of closing. Written agreement that no retaliation will occur. Public acknowledgement to the sales team that Mr. Brooks' termination was an error. Nancy scanned the document. The public acknowledgement is problematic. Why? Because it makes Derek look bad? I said. He made himself look bad. Vaughn held up a hand. Derek is no longer your concern. He's been removed from operational authority. Removed or transitioned? Victor asked. Semantics. He won't be making personnel decisions anymore. Then who will? Vaughn looked at me directly. I'm resuming active management until we find the right person. Someone who understands this business. Nancy shifted uncomfortably. Mr. Vaughn, we should discuss this privately before. No. I've seen enough. This young man built the Blackwell relationship over 11 months. My son tried to hand it to his unqualified friend. That's not how we do business. The room fell silent. Carson, Vaughn continued, I didn't know about Derek's plan until yesterday. If I had, this never would have happened. I'm asking you to come back. Not just for Blackwell, but because you're exactly the kind of person we need. It sounded genuine. But I've learned not to trust words without action. Put it in writing, I said. Everything Victor outlined. Plus one more thing. Name it. I want that commission protection clause extended to everyone on the sales team. Not just me. Nobody should get fired right before a big deal closes just to save the company money. Nancy shook her head. That would be very expensive. It's also very fair, I countered. Your salespeople bring in millions. They deserve protection from this kind of thing. Vaughn studied me for a long moment. You're willing to fight for people who watched you get fired and said nothing? Some of them said nothing because they were scared. Derek threatened Wesley with termination for questioning the policy. That's not a healthy culture. No, it isn't. Vaughn turned to Nancy. Draft an addendum for the entire sales team. Same protection Carson has. Sir, that could cost. I know what it could cost. I also know what losing good people costs. Draft it. Nancy nodded tightly and made notes. Is there anything else? Vaughn asked me directly. I glanced at Victor, who gave a slight nod. The termination papers Derek gave me included a non-disparagement clause. I want that removed from my file. I won't sign anything saying I can't discuss what happened. Done. Nancy, make sure that clause disappears. And, I continued, I want a written apology from Derek. Not to me personally. To the sales team. Admitting he handled this poorly. Vaughn almost smiled. You're not making this easy. Neither did he. We broke for lunch while legal drafted the agreements. Victor and I walked to a sandwich shop 3 blocks away. You did well in there, he said. Asking for protection for everyone was smart. Makes you look principled, not just self-interested. I meant it. Wesley's been there 20 years. He shouldn't have to worry about being fired before his deals close. Still, it was smart. Vaughn respects that. We ate in comfortable silence until Victor's phone buzzed. He read the message and grinned. Nancy just sent the draft agreement. Everything we asked for, including the team-wide protection. What about Derek's apology? Coming. Apparently he's furious, but his father insisted. I thought about Derek's smug face as he fired me. How he'd enjoyed it. Now he was being forced to apologize. When do I go back? Monday. They want the Blackwell deal closed first, make sure there are no complications. Then you return as if nothing happened. Except everyone will know something happened. Yes, they will. They'll know you fought back and won. We returned to Pinnacle at 2 o'clock. The conference room felt different now, less hostile. Vaughn had left, but Nancy had 3 copies of the agreement ready. Everything's here, she said, sliding them across. Please review carefully. Victor and I read in silence. Section 12 extended to all sales staff. Commission protection. No retaliation clause. Public acknowledgement of error. Derek's written apology to be distributed tomorrow. It's acceptable, Victor said finally. I signed all 3 copies. Friday morning, I woke up to 43 text messages. The first was from Tricia, check your email. Derek's apology just went out. I opened my laptop, hands trembling slightly with anticipation. The email was time-stamped 7:02 a.m., sent to the entire sales team. Team, I want to address this week's events regarding Carson Brooks. I made a decision without fully understanding his contractual protections and the impact on client relationships. This was an error in judgment on my part. Carson will be returning Monday, and I want to ensure everyone knows that his work on the Blackwell account was exemplary. Additionally, all sales team members will receive enhanced commission protection similar to Carson's. This ensures fair treatment for everyone. My apologies for any concern this situation caused. Derek Vaughn. It was the most carefully worded non-apology apology I'd ever read. But it was public. Everyone would see it. The messages flooded in after that. Wesley, about damn time. Tricia, drinks on me tonight. Even people I barely knew sent congratulations. At 9:47 a.m., Amanda called. Carson. I heard you're back. What happened? Long story. Short version, they made a mistake, they fixed it. We're still good for today. Absolutely. Contracts printing now. Our CEO wants to meet you, actually. Says anyone who handles adversity like you did is someone he wants to work with. The Blackwell deal closed at 2:15 p.m. I wasn't in the office, they'd asked me to wait until Monday, but Amanda sent me a photo of the signed contract. Congratulations, Carson. You earned this. Monday morning felt surreal. I pulled into Pinnacle's parking garage at 7:30, the same time I had for 6 years, but everything felt different. Frank, the security guard, greeted me at the entrance. Welcome back, Mr. Brooks. Glad to see you. Thanks, Frank. Tell your nephew the job market's looking better here now. He grinned. I'll do that. The elevator ride up felt longer than usual. When the doors opened, I half expected everyone to stare. Instead, Wesley was waiting. Carson Brooks, the man who made Derek Vaughn apologize. Didn't think I'd live to see that day. We shook hands. How's the team? Better. Hopeful, actually. That commission protection you fought for? That changes everything. Half the senior staff was planning to leave. Now they're reconsidering. We walked together through the office. People smiled, nodded, some even applauded. It was uncomfortable and wonderful at the same time. My desk had been cleaned, my belongings neatly arranged. Someone had even put fresh flowers in a vase. Trisha appeared with coffee. "Welcome back. Your schedule's clear today, Vaughn's orders. He wants you to ease back in." I sat down and opened my computer. 347 unread emails. I started sorting through them. At 10 o'clock, my phone rang. Vaughn's extension. "Carson, could you come up?" Of course. His office was twice the size of Derek's had been, with genuine antiques and family photos spanning decades. "Sit, please." Vaughn gestured to a chair across from his desk. "Coffee? Water?" "I'm good, thanks." He sat down heavily, looking at me with something between respect and exhaustion. "I want to apologize personally. Derek is my son, and I made the mistake of trusting him with responsibilities he wasn't ready for. You didn't know what he'd do. I should have. The warning signs were there. His mother and I have been too lenient, always making excuses." He paused. "This week taught me something important about this company. About loyalty and fairness." I waited, unsure where this was going. "Your insistence on protecting the entire sales team, not just yourself, that showed character. Real leadership." He leaned forward. "Carson, how would you feel about a promotion?" "A promotion?" "Sales director. You'd oversee the team, develop strategy, mentor junior staff. Derek's old role, essentially, but done right this time." I sat back, processing. "What about Derek?" "He's taking time off. Indefinitely. His position here is being reevaluated." Vaughn's expression hardened. "What he did to you was wrong. What he tried to do to the Blackwell deal was potentially criminal. He needs to face consequences. I'm not interested in revenge." "I know. That's part of why I'm offering this position to you." I thought about it carefully. More responsibility, more pressure, but also more influence. I could make sure what happened to me never happened to anyone else. "Can I think about it?" "Take the week. Talk to your lawyer, your family, whoever you trust. Let me know Friday." That evening, I met Victor at his office to discuss the offer. Sales director. That's a significant step up. He reviewed the offer letter Vaughn had sent over. Salary increase, equity stake, seat at management meetings. "Carson, this is a good offer. Is it genuine, though? Or is Vaughn just trying to make the lawsuit threat go away completely?" "Probably both. But that doesn't make it a bad opportunity." Victor set down the papers. "Look, you proved something this week. You proved you won't be pushed around. That makes you valuable. Dangerous, even, in a good way. What about Derek? Won't this create problems?" "Derek's problems are his own now. His father's made that clear." I stared out Victor's window at the city lights. A week ago, I thought my career was over. Now I was being offered a promotion. "What would you do?" I asked. "Me? I'd take it. But I'd also negotiate for ironclad protections in the contract. Guaranteed severance, equity acceleration if they try to force you out, the works." "You think they'd go for that? After what just happened?" "Absolutely. They don't want another lawsuit, and you've earned leverage." We spent the next hour drafting counterproposals. By the time I left, I knew what I wanted, the promotion, but with protections that would make me nearly impossible to fire without cause. Wednesday, I sent Vaughn my counteroffer. He responded within 2 hours, "Let's meet Thursday to discuss." Thursday's meeting was shorter than Monday's. Vaughn reviewed my requests, enhanced severance, equity acceleration, guaranteed bonus structure, and agreed to all of them. "You drive a hard bargain," he said, but he was smiling. "I learned from experience." "Good. That's the kind of thinking I want in leadership." He extended his hand. "Welcome to the management team, Carson." We shook, and this time it felt different. Equal. Partnership, not just employment. When do I start? Monday. I'll announce it to the team tomorrow. Friday's company-wide email hit inboxes at 9 a.m. I'm pleased to announce Carson Brooks' promotion to Sales Director, effective immediately. Carson's dedication to client relationships and his commitment to team fairness embody the values we strive for at Pinnacle. Please join me in congratulating him. My phone exploded with messages again. Congratulations, questions about the role, a few people asking if I was hiring. Wesley stopped by my desk. Director Brooks. Got a nice ring to it. Still feels weird. You earned it. And Carson? That commission protection you fought for? My deal closes next month. Knowing I'm protected makes a huge difference. That was the moment it really hit me. This wasn't just about my commission anymore. It had become something bigger. At 4:47 p.m., exactly 1 week after Derek's firing email, my phone pinged with a bank notification. Commission deposit, $1,400,000. I stared at the screen, hands shaking slightly. That weekend, I took my first real break in months. No emails, no calls, just time to process everything that had happened. Saturday morning, I drove to my parents' house. My mom opened the door and immediately hugged me. We've been so worried. You barely told us anything. It's been intense, Mom. Over coffee, I explained everything. The firing, the contract clause, the lawsuit threat, the promotion, the commission. My father, a retired union organizer, listened quietly until I finished. Then he said, "You did what I always taught you. Stand up for yourself, but also stand up for everyone. Derek tried to bully me. And you didn't let him. That's important. Bullies only stop when someone fights back." We spent the afternoon talking about the future. What I'd do with the commission money. How I'd handle my new role. Whether Derek would cause trouble. He might, my father warned. Entitled people don't learn humility easily. But Derek stayed silent. According to office gossip, he'd moved to his father's beach house and wasn't returning calls. Sunday evening, I got an unexpected call from Amanda at Blackwell. "Carson, our CEO wants to set up a lunch meeting. He's impressed with how you handled your company's internal issues while still prioritizing our partnership." A lunch meeting? He's exploring a larger contract. About twice the size of what we just closed. Interested? I smiled. Very interested. Monday morning as sales director started with a team meeting I'd organized. All 15 salespeople crammed into the conference room, coffee and bagels on the table. "First, thank you for the support this past week," I began. "What happened to me could have happened to anyone. That's why the commission protection matters." Wesley raised his hand. "Are you going to change how things work around here?" "Yes. Starting with transparency. You'll know what management is thinking about deals, about policy changes. No more surprises." For the next hour, we discussed their concerns. Fair territory assignments. Better support staff. Realistic quotas. I took notes on everything. "This is different," Tricia said afterward. "Derek never asked what we needed. He just told us what to do." I'm not Derek. That became my unofficial motto over the following weeks. Not Derek. Different approach. Collaborative rather than dictatorial. The changes started small. Weekly team meetings instead of monthly. Open door policy for concerns. Transparent commission calculations. Within a month, our numbers improved. People worked harder when they felt valued, protected, appreciated. Vaughn noticed. "Morale's the best it's been in years. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." But not everyone was happy with the changes. Mitchell, Derek's college friend who'd tried to take over Blackwell, had stayed on despite everything. He'd been hostile since my promotion, undermining decisions, stirring up complaints. 3 weeks into my new role, he made his move. The team thinks you're too soft, Mitchell announced during a management meeting. Real sales leadership requires toughness. I kept my voice level. Toughness and fairness aren't mutually exclusive. We've lost competitive edge. People are comfortable. Comfortable salespeople don't push hard enough. Vaughn intervened. Our numbers are up 15% since Carson took over. Comfort seems to be working. Mitchell's face reddened. Short-term bounce. Won't last. After the meeting, Vaughn pulled me aside. He's trying to position himself for your job. Be careful. I know. He's been building alliances with the junior staff. Can you handle it? Yes. I didn't wait for Mitchell to make another move. That afternoon, I reviewed his sales record. It was mediocre at best, 3 deals closed in 6 months, all small contracts, all clients handed to him by Derek. Then I checked his expense reports. Interesting patterns emerged. Expensive client dinners with no corresponding sales activity. Conference trips that didn't match any actual conferences. I sent everything to Nancy in legal. Thought you should see this. She called me an hour later. This is concerning. Some of these expenses might be fraudulent. What do you want to do? Let me investigate. Don't mention this to anyone yet. 2 days later, Mitchell was placed on administrative leave pending an investigation. The junior staff he'd been courting suddenly became much more cooperative with my initiatives. Wesley stopped by my office that evening. Heard about Mitchell. Good riddance. It wasn't personal. Maybe not. But it was necessary. 6 months after that terrible Tuesday when Derek fired me, I sat in my new office reviewing quarterly numbers. Pinnacle's sales were up 32%. Employee satisfaction scores had climbed to their highest level in company history. We'd won 3 industry awards. Derek never returned. Last I heard, he'd moved to California to explore opportunities. Translation: his father cut him off and he was figuring out life without daddy's money. Mitchell's investigation uncovered $20,000 in fraudulent expenses. He resigned rather than face charges. My team had grown to 20 people. The commission protection clause I'd fought for had been tested twice. Both times, it worked exactly as intended. Salespeople felt secure, which made them bolder, more confident. The Blackwell relationship continued to flourish. The second contract Amanda mentioned closed last month, $15.6 million, my largest deal ever. My office door opened. Vaughn walked in without knocking, which meant good news. Board meeting just finished. They approved your recommendation for Wesley's promotion. He's our new senior sales manager. He earned it. So did you. Vaughn handed me an envelope. Bonus. Recognition of exceptional leadership. I opened it. Check for $200,000. That's too much. No, it's exactly right. Carson, you didn't just save one commission. You fixed our entire culture. That's worth considerably more than we're paying you. After he left, I stood at my window looking out at the city. A year ago, I'd been a good salesperson. Now I was leading a team, mentoring others, building something that would outlast any individual deal. My phone buzzed. Text from Victor: saw the industry article about Pinnacle's turnaround. Congratulations. You did that. I smiled. Derek had tried to fire me before my biggest commission. He'd tried to steal credit for my work. He'd tried to humiliate me. Instead, he'd given me the greatest gift, a clear understanding of my own worth, and the determination to fight for what I'd earned. The class he didn't read had destroyed him. But it had saved me.